Hey, Yankees fans, let's dive straight into what's buzzing this offseason, because there's a ton to unpack. The talk around the league has been heating up, and honestly, some of these rumors have been downright wild. Let's start with the big names everyone's been throwing around, and why some of them make sense, and others, well, not so much. Take Kyle Schwarber, for instance. The guy had a monster year with the Phillies. Over 55 home runs, more than 130 RBIs, a solid .240 batting average, and an OPS that's just ridiculous. Offensively, he's a beast, there's no denying that. But here's the thing. The Yankees, as currently constructed, don't exactly have a natural fit for someone like him. Schwarber is primarily a corner outfielder who can DH, and we've already got Giancarlo Stanton locked in for that role. Spending top dollar on another power bat for essentially the same spot doesn't really make strategic sense. It's not a knock on Schwarber, he's a phenomenal player, but in terms of roster construction, the Yankees have to think smarter than just chasing stats. Still, imagine having him in the lineup. It's tempting, right? 56 homers in a lineup that already boasts Aaron Judge and Stanton could make pitching for opposing teams a nightmare. But there are other factors to consider. Schwarber is on the wrong side of 30, and committing a massive contract at this stage of his career comes with risks. The Yankees have to weigh cost versus fit, and in this case, the fit just doesn't seem to be there. The likelihood of him returning to Philly feels a lot higher than him making a Bronx debut. Now, shifting gears to some internal moves, the Yankees made some notable decisions regarding their bullpen and roster options. Johnny Lasagna, once considered a top prospect with a high-octane arm, had his team option declined, making him a free agent. For those who followed his career, it's a bit of a bummer because the talent is still there. Lasagna has great stuff, but injuries have hampered his trajectory, and unfortunately, the last few seasons have not gone in his favor. Still, it's not shocking that the Yankees decided to move on. This offseason is about streamlining and getting reliable arms who can consistently contribute at a high level. On the flip side, Tim Hill's option was exercised, and that's excellent news for the bullpen. Hill's performance last season was solid, maintaining a low ERA, keeping the whip down, and consistently inducing contact. He's the type of pitcher you can trust in multiple situations, and his return gives the Yankees some stability in the late innings. Of course, there's still work to do in the bullpen, especially with guys like Devin Williams and other free agents in the mix. The team needs to be creative, whether that's bringing back familiar arms or targeting high-leverage pitchers who can make an immediate impact. And then there's the big, tantalizing target for the Yankees, Kyle Tucker. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Tucker is undoubtedly one of the top offensive talents in Major League Baseball, and the opportunity to add him to the Yankees lineup is golden. His combination of power, consistency, and athleticism makes him a perfect fit. The Cubs, likely letting him test free agency, could open the door for the Yankees to make a major splash. Unlike Schwarber, Tucker complements the current core perfectly. You can slot him in the outfield without displacing anyone critical, and the lineup potential becomes jaw-dropping. Imagine pairing him with Judge and Stanton, or even rearranging slightly with Ben Rice in the mix. The power surge would be unmatched. On the defensive side, Tucker isn't just about the bat. His presence in the outfield adds range and energy, something the Yankees always prioritize. There's also a bit of a chess game with other teams, potentially in the mix. The Dodgers have the resources, sure, but if their focus is elsewhere, the Yankees have a genuine chance to swoop in. Timing, strategy, and aggressive pursuit could make this a defining move of the offseason. The market for elite outfielders like Tucker is competitive, but the Yankees have both the incentive and the structure to make it work. Meanwhile, Cody Bellinger's situation adds another layer of complexity. The conversation about whether he returns to Los Angeles seems almost absurd when you consider the context. The Dodgers moved on decisively, signaling a lack of interest in a long-term partnership, despite Bellinger's talent and accolades. For the Yankees, having the opportunity to sign him while simultaneously pursuing Tucker creates a scenario where the lineup could evolve into something truly elite. There's a lot of speculation floating around, but when you break it down, Tucker should be the priority. He's the top outfielder available, and Bellinger could serve as a complementary piece if circumstances align. When it comes to trade strategies, the Yankees have options. Moving a controllable asset like Austin Wells could yield a high-quality return, ideally a pitcher capable of contributing to either the rotation or bullpen. Pairing such a trade with the signing of Bellinger and Tucker would transform the roster into one of the most feared lineups in the league. It's a mix of calculated risk, shrewd acquisitions, and long-term planning that could set up the team for sustained success. The offseason is a chessboard, and every move has ripple effects. At the core of all these considerations is one principle: fit matters as much as talent. Schwarber's numbers are undeniable, but roster composition and strategic alignment are crucial. Tucker offers both elite production and positional synergy. Bellinger provides flexibility and offensive firepower without overlapping roles. Hill and other bullpen stalwarts ensure late-game stability. And every move, from trades to free agent signings, feeds into a vision of a Yankees roster that is powerful, balanced, and capable of competing at the highest level. Now, let's dig even deeper into how the Yankees could shape their roster this offseason, because this is where things start to get really intriguing. The potential to add Kyle Tucker alone is a game-changer, but when you start thinking about how to integrate him with the current lineup, the possibilities are almost dizzying. You have Aaron Judge anchoring the middle of the order, Giancarlo Stanton occupying that designated hitter spot with his massive power. And then the question becomes, how do you maximize run production without compromising defense or creating redundancy? This is where smart roster design comes into play. Kyle Tucker slots into the outfield naturally, giving the Yankees flexibility to rotate other players without leaving glaring holes. He's a bat that can change the complexion of a game in a single swing, but he also has the instincts, speed, and defensive awareness to make a difference when the team isn't at the plate. That combination is rare, and that's why he has to be the centerpiece of any Yankees offseason strategy. The conversation inevitably turns to Cody Bellinger, and his versatility cannot be overstated. Bellinger is the type of player who can cover multiple positions and still deliver consistent offensive output. While some might argue that adding another big bat to the lineup risks creating redundancy, the reality is that Bellinger's flexibility allows the Yankees to create depth without sacrificing quality. He can play first base, he can rotate into the outfield, and he can step in whenever needed to maintain lineup balance. Having Bellinger in the fold alongside Tucker and Judge give the Yankees a trifecta of power, speed, and experience that opponents will find nearly impossible to navigate over a full season. The strategic advantage is massive, and it sets up the team not just to compete, but to dominate. Of course, no discussion of the Yankees offseason would be complete without talking about pitching. The bullpen has been a focus for the front office for months, and while Tim Hill returning gives stability, there's still a need for high-leverage arms who can close games and manage late-inning pressure. The reality is that in today's game, a top-tier bullpen is just as critical as a loaded lineup. If the Yankees can add someone like Edwin Diaz or a comparable high-octane arm, it would not only solidify the ninth inning, but also create more freedom for the rotation to maneuver through tough spots. Devin Williams returning could help, but it's clear the Yankees are thinking about more than just filling spots. They're looking for impact, reliability, and players who can perform under playoff pressure. Trades will undoubtedly play a role, too. Moving Austin Wells, for example, could open up a spot for a controllable, high-upside player, whether it's a pitcher who can contribute immediately or an offensive piece with long-term potential. The key is that every move should complement the core rather than disrupt it. The Yankees have to be meticulous about how they balance immediate production with sustainable roster health. That's why the Tucker-Bellinger scenario is so appealing. It enhances the lineup without creating positional conflicts, strengthens the offensive engine, and maintains the flexibility to adapt if injuries or unexpected changes occur. Let's also talk about the mindset here. The Yankees aren't just trying to patch holes. They're building a championship-caliber team. That means prioritizing elite talent, not just big names. Schwarber might be flashy, but if he doesn't fit, he's not the right call. Tucker is not just talented. He's perfect for this particular roster configuration. The same goes for Bellinger. It's about maximizing every roster spot and every dollar, ensuring that each addition improves the team's overall performance rather than simply adding to the star power. This level of strategic thinking is what separates a good team from a great one. Another interesting angle is lineup sequencing. Imagine Aaron Judge, Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, and Giancarlo Stanton in the heart of the order. The pressure on opposing pitchers would be relentless. Each at-bat carries the potential to shift the game dramatically, and having multiple switch hitters and versatile players in the mix amplifies that effect. The Yankees could also strategically insert Ben Rice or other key contributors in spots that maximize run creation, ensuring that the lineup remains dangerous from top to bottom. It's not just about power. It's about constructing an order that forces opponents into constant defensive and pitching adjustments. While the focus is often on big names, the depth of a Yankees organization also matters. Developing and integrating young talent alongside proven veterans ensures the team doesn't rely solely on free agents. Players like Tim Hill provide stability, while other bullpen arms and minor league prospects could emerge to create an adaptable roster capable of handling injuries, slumps, or unexpected challenges. The front office has a balancing act: maintain the core, add elite talent, and keep an eye on emerging players who can contribute meaningfully. It's a delicate, dynamic process, but when executed correctly, it's the foundation of sustained success. At the end of the day, this offseason is about positioning the Yankees not just for next season, but for multiple seasons of competitiveness. Adding Tucker and Bellinger, solidifying the bullpen, making smart trades, and integrating young talent are all part of a comprehensive plan to build a team capable of dominating both in the regular season and the postseason. Every decision, from free agency to trades to roster management, contributes to this overarching vision. And with the right moves, the Yankees could enter the next season with one of the most balanced, dynamic, and fearsome rosters in all of Major League Baseball. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. The New York Yankees are shaking the baseball world once again. Rumors swirling around the Bronx have just taken a dramatic turn, with multiple sources now whispering that superstar outfielder Ronald Acuna Jr. is set to don pinstripes, potentially redefining the team's lineup for years to come. While official confirmations are often slow in the sports world, insiders are calling this move all but sealed, igniting a frenzy among fans and analysts alike. Acuna Jr., known for his electrifying speed, towering home runs, and uncanny ability to change the momentum of a game in a single swing, has long been a target for teams looking to dominate the American League East. And the Yankees, with their insatiable hunger for marquee talent, seem to have finally landed the prize. Speculation has been rampant over the past few weeks, with whispers of high-stakes negotiations, blockbuster trades, and strategic lineup overhauls, and now, it appears the pieces are falling into place. The Bronx buzz is palpable. Social media timelines are flooded with reactions ranging from euphoric celebrations to cautious optimism, as fans dissect what Acuna Jr.'s arrival could mean. Analysts are already projecting the potential shakeup. The Yankees' outfield could become one of the most feared in the league, while pitching rotations and batting orders may shift to maximize the young star's impact. For a team with a storied history and championship expectations, the timing couldn't be more perfect or more dramatic. Yet, as with any major move in baseball, questions remain. How will Acuna Jr. adapt to the pressures of New York? What do the Yankees give up in the trade? And most importantly, can this electrifying talent turn rumor into reality by leading the Bronx Bombers to another historic season? While answers remain elusive, one thing is certain. The baseball world will be watching every swing, every steal, and every highlight reel play with heightened anticipation. If the whispers are true, the Yankees may have just ignited a fire that could blaze through the entire league. For now, fans can only speculate, debate, and dream. But one thing is undeniable. The Bronx just became the hottest spot in baseball, and Ronald Acuna Jr.'s arrival could mark the beginning of a thrilling new chapter. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.